Another lesson I learned from my dad is in the area of the family, um, the respect he had for the family unit. And I put it this way: always respect the family unit. It is a gift from God, and it's something that has been built as an environment to help you develop the necessary traits for success in life. Now, this is quite an interesting one because some people may say we didn't have a good family experience. You know, my dad was not a role model. My mom was not a role model. You know, some people even regard the extended family as enemies. You know, to a degree. Um, of course, there are once people are involved, challenges are inevitable. We're going to misread ourselves. We're going to step on our toes. We're going to say things that would offend the other person. All these kind of things are natural things to happen in the context of any relationship where people are allowed to be free. But there are some safeguards that ensure that that nucleus actually works the way God intended it to work. And for Dad, that was paramount in a lot of the things he did. He always made sure he was there for family, not just the immediate family, but also the extended family. And I think that one of the things that helped him in this area is the fact that um, there was a time in his life when my grandfather was out of the country. I think he was studying at the time, and my dad was quite young, and my dad had to being the first child, he had to learn to do some things that he probably wouldn't have had to do under normal circumstances. But he had to do them anyway, and those things had a part in shaping his life, in shaping his perspective on family. It helped him to develop a perspective on how to keep the family together and make that unit work. I don't think there's any way we can talk about my dad without talking about how he held his immediate family together. And from an immediate family perspective, I think my mom was a stabilizing force in that family, and he recognized that. Um, he made sure that as a family, there was obviously my dad, my mom, and three of us, three boys. I would say that my brothers they might deal with me for this, but I would say maybe they were a bit more rascally than I was. Of course, when the discipline came in and I saw the way they got disciplined, I kind of wanted to avoid that. So they made most of the mistakes, which allowed me to navigate some of the areas as we went on. But when it came to discipline, Dad was firm. Oh my goodness, he was. You couldn't just do anything around him because you felt like doing that. You straightened up when my dad was around. You made sure that you were thinking properly. You were thinking right. There was freedom. He was very playful, and even until he passed, he was very playful with children. He he respected everyone's views in the family, and he gave us all the opportunity to express the views. And he listened. If he felt that maybe he was wrong on a point, he made sure that he adjusted. And some of the things that it seems that some fathers today never do is apologize. Just say sorry. I didn't think it was going to turn out that way, but it's turned out that way, and we're going to try to fix this. But sometimes, as fathers, we want to create this sense of we've got everything under control. We know we've planned everything out and it's working exactly as we want it to. Look, we all make mistakes, and Dad was quick to respond in those cases, and he ensured that he was. I think the best way I would describe it is he was sacrificial. If there were things he wanted to do and he felt would tamper with that family unit and will put that family unit at risk, he always avoided those kind of things. And some of them were, some of them came at a cost. Some of them meant that there were some things that he could have had and would have been beneficial to him that he didn't have. But he still made sure that he brought the family together in that sense. And, by all standards, I would say we had a really, really good upbringing. We loved to be in the family. It was somewhere we wanted to go back to. Anytime we, like I said, we were really interesting characters growing up. But even when we missed it, and we missed it terribly, really, really terribly, sometimes we'll come back home and my dad wouldn't explode the way you would expect that other people would have exploded. But as soon as he started speaking to you, you realize the folly of your action, and you realize that you had to adjust to that. And this was not something he did just to immediate family. It was something he also did to anybody who happened to live with us at that point in time. It was a principle of it. And he ensured that he pushed that principle down. He ensured that he tried to get us to see the reason and the need to value that family unit. And, within the context of family, we had our fair challenges, right? There were times when, if I look back at some situations now, I appreciate how strong my dad was, because looking back at those situations, I think they were times where finances were challenged, but he navigated those areas in a way that made going through adversity. He was gracious in going through those times of adversity, those times of challenges. And one of the areas I think fathers, particularly fathers, need to focus on is that a lot of times the family goes the way of the ideals of the father. If the father has an ideal that's not rooted in God, rooted in the Word of God, the likelihood is that the family will go in that direction.